إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah, we seek His aid, His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves and from the harm of our own wrongdoing. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can lead astray. Whomsoever leads astray, no one can guide. And I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah with one without any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and messenger. Oh, you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared and do not die, except as a Muslim. So I remind myself and remind all of you to always be conscious of Allah, always have the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the most important thing in our lives because, again, it establishes that relationship that we're supposed to have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, to be close to Allah, to be conscious of Allah, to be mindful of His commandments and staying away from His prohibitions. This is key. And also also keep in mind that, again, one's rank, one's status in the sight of Allah is based upon that. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the one that has taqwa, the one that fears Allah, the one that is pious and righteous. And that's what it's all about. And also, keeping in mind the times that we're in now, the tests, the trials, one of the things that Allah reminds us of in the Quran is that, that if you have taqwa, if you have the real fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like you're supposed to, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a way for you. Allah will make things easy for you. Allah will make a way for you, you see. And so we don't have to have the kind of worry and anxiety that a lot of other people have. So having said that, inshallah, I want today talk about, again, two things primarily. And one is patience, having patience during times of trials and during times of testing, and having hope and being optimistic, looking for a better outcome. That's what's important, you see. That's what's supposed to motivate us to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us ease. After every difficulty there's relief, like we mentioned before. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Verily, with every difficulty there is ease. Verily, every difficulty there is relief. So having said that, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلِنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَالنَّقْصِ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. And Allah also says, وَادْعُوهُ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا إِنَّ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ. And so the translation of these verses in Surah Baqarah, verse 155 to 157, and certainly we shall test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives, and the fruits, but give glad tidings to the sabirin, those who are patient. So glad tidings to us. We be patient. We accept this. We accept the trials and the calamities, whatever they are. Be patient. And who, when afflicted with calamity, whatever it is, they say, truly to Allah we belong and truly to Him we shall return. A lot of times we say that, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We say that when someone dies. All right? But any calamity, you say that. Any calamity, you can say that. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. You see? That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us. All right, so you have to make use of this. This is a dua that you know well. Because every time someone passes away, you said so. You can say it in any calamity, any hardship, because that reminds you, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you're connected to Allah, that you belong to Allah, and everything is in the hands and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And then Allah goes on to say, they are those on whom are the salawat, or those who are blessed and those who have been forgiven from their Lord, and they receive His mercy and His guidance. You see? So those who are patient, and those who are patient when calamities come, and they take this positive attitude, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. They're the ones, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed, you see, okay? And they're the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgives, and they're the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shines His mercy upon and gives them guidance. And alhamdulillah, we have guidance, because again, we have the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And all we have to do is to be connected with the book. Be connected with the book and be connected with the sunnah. You see what I'm saying? And that helps you guide through. And you look at, what others before you have went through, you see? Like Allah says, or think you that you will enter paradise without such trials as came to those before you? They were afflicted with severe poverty and ailments, and were so shaken, zulzi. Zulzi, they were, like an earthquake, they were so shaken that even the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and those who were with him said, when will come the help of Allah? SubhanAllah. Verily the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is near. You see? So those who came before you, yes, they were tried too. So do we think we're going to get Allah's paradise? Whether it's the coronavirus or it's an earthquake or whether it's a storm, SubhanAllah, it doesn't matter. Your house burned down, all of these calamities, when they come, they come. It's a test on your patience. You see, Allah want to feel you out. Allah want to know what you're made of. You see, all this talk about, all this posturing sometimes that we have about, how much iman we think we have, right? How much Muslim we are, and how much better we are, over another brother or another sister. Oh, look at them guys. They and we ain't looking at ourselves. So Allah tests us, see where you at. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in other ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He would test and He would try your mettle. People may think you're a strong believer, but a calamity coming, you may cower. You may fall low, so you never know. That's why you have to be humble during these times. And look at these things and reflect. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want me to learn. You see? And so, alhamdulillah, so even the messenger of Allah, when times got rough sometimes, even he was shaking. Okay? So it happens. All right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tells us also that when these things come, and call upon Allah with fear and hope. And call upon Allah with fear and hope. Surely Allah's mercy is near to those who are doers of good. So that's where the hope comes in. So right now people are fearful, people in fear, but we better not be in fear. We should not be in fear. No, because we got Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We got to keep that in mind. And if you got a strong connection with Allah, then you know these things. If you have taqwa, you building your taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah, Allah will get us through this here. We have enough guidance in the book of Allah to get us through. So we ain't supposed to be sad. We supposed to be, subhanAllah, And we can feel the pain like everybody else. We can be shaken a bit, you see what I'm saying? But we still got to be positive and look beyond the tests. Because there are going to be more tests. There are going to be more tests. Think about it. The hadith say that when the Prophet spoke about the latter days and the signs of the last days, and when the trial, the trial will be so, the test will be so heavy, you see, it'll come like waves. He said, when the fitna comes and the test come, one will say, we're doomed. So we're looking at coronavirus. We're doomed. Oh, man. You see what I'm saying? But the Prophet said the one after that will be worse. They will keep coming like that. And each time they come, they'll be worse. Okay? All right? So keep those things in mind, Be strong. Be humble, but be strong, Lean on Allah. Rely upon Allah. Call on Allah. Be humble before Allah. Be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how we got to be. See? being positive, looking forward, to the ease when Allah brings it, when He brings it. You see, and don't be so hasty. Sometimes we make dua, we go, oh Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah. You see, asking Allah, calling on Allah to give us or to lift, but Allah lift in His own time when He want to. Allah want to put us through a little bit more, and it's okay. It's okay. You learn after a while. You say, hey, Allah wants us to be patient. Allah wants us to be grateful. It's like the Prophet ﷺ said, everything that happens to a believer is good for him. Everything. Only for the believer. Only for the believer because he has iman, he has faith in Allah. He knows Allah controls all things. So everything that comes to him, subhanallah. You see? The Prophet ﷺ said when good comes, when good happens to him, everything is good. Alhamdulillah. So he's thankful, he's grateful. He said, alhamdulillah when good happens to him. And you should be. Because Allah does not like those who are ungrateful. You see, but for the believer, a believer, he's always grateful when something good. And when something bad or calamity or adversity or difficulty hits him, you see, then he's patient. And that's good for him, you see. So it's a win-win situation, either way you look at it. That's how I look at it. You say, well, I'm trying to. I'm trying to walk through it too, just like everybody else, like the Prophet. So, brothers and sisters, love. Yes, these are trying times. It's okay. And we are a week away from Ramadan. Wow. A week away from Ramadan. You see? And so the Ramadan is going to be good. It's going to be good. Because all Ramadans are good. I'll come back to that in a minute. Inshallah. All right? But I just want to highlight again a few things. Like I was thinking, the struggle, on those feeding lines that never, had to ask anybody for anything. The rich and the wealthy or the upper middle class. Now a lot of I never dreamed that I'd be on a line, asking for food. People with a good job, but they ain't got no job now. I mean, you check the news out, you follow the news, you know what the statistics say, 20-something, 22, 23, 24 million people out of jobs. So people are like, whoa, so people are hungry. I was speaking to a brother in Texas yesterday on the phone, and he was telling me, so he got a little thing out, he's trying to get donations to help feed the people out there in Texas. I said, okay, we're trying to get something to you. Alhamdulillah. So it's real, fake people. He said, hey, man, you go out, you watch the line, you look at the line, you look at the people. So people are suffering. You see, but that's what the ayah talk about. The whole ayah itself, the whole verse about, the fear, the hunger, you see it manifested all over the place. People losing their wealth or losing their jobs, People dying, the numbers, but it's all a test. It's all a test. It's okay, all right? And we take it in strides, we take it with patience, and we still look hopeful. Because we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over everything. And so I want to close, with just to remind us again, the whole idea of struggle. Life is a struggle. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Allah says, that He has created man into toil and struggle. Even though we mentioned earlier that you think you're into paradise without being tested. But Allah also said that He has created you. All men, He created man. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Verily we have created man to toil and struggle. This life is toil, struggle. This life is full of trials and tribulations. Difficult. There's good times and there's bad times. It's okay. You see. And it's going to go like that until the end of time. There's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times for everybody. You see? But then one day there'll come a time where it's going to be all bad, and it's going to stay that way, and it's going to be all good, and it's going to stay that way. That's in the hereafter. You see? So in the hereafter, if you get Jannah, you'll never suffer again. It's all over. You see? There's no good and bad. You see? But for the disbelievers, and those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's all bad, all pain. They think they're going through something now, but we think we're going through something now. Boy, oh boy. In the hell, if you end up in hell, the pain that you suffer here, nothing. The discomfort, the difficulty that you go through here is nothing in comparison to the eternal, torment and pain that you're going to go through next. So brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, we just have to go through what we got to go through. Go through what we got to go through. Having patience, because Allah's testing our patience. See what we made of. And being hopeful and calling out to Allah to give us relief because He has made that promise. And seeking His forgiveness. Alhamdulillah. That's what Allah SWT wants us to do. So I was reflecting, when you look at struggle, right? And hardships, I was thinking, any kind of hardship, any kind of difficulty in life, the mere fact that Allah SWT, He's created man, it's a struggle for life, a struggle. Difficulty. I'm talking about the prophets of Allah. Allah SWT revealed their stories in the Quran, and every story you read was rough. It was rough. It was a struggle. All of them. Some more than others. And Allah SWT went into, goes into details about, in some of them more so than others. The story of Ayub. The hardship that he went through. The suffering, the disease, the loss of his wealth, the loss of his family, and all of those things. But he was patient. He was patient. And Allah SWT, alhamdulillah, sent him relief after some time. You see what I'm saying? Okay? But he went through what he had to go through. Could you go through that? And the Prophet ﷺ said that the Anbiya, the prophets of Allah, are tested more than anybody. See? They're tested more than anybody. Okay? Because they have the strongest iman. You see? All right? And so we look at the Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salam. What he went through. His father, Ayub, being separate from his father. Ayub being separate from his son. 30 years, 40 years, separated. The pain of that. And then finally he got to see him near the end of his life. We know that story. And what Yusuf went through. The jealousy of his brother, being thrown in the well, and the captivity, you know what I'm saying? And he was sold into captivity, and he ended up going to prison, and on and on and on. Wow. They went through it, man. It wasn't easy. The persecution, the suffering that all of them suffered from. Ask yourself, could I have went through that? أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. SubhanAllah. As I mentioned, Ayub, the Prophet Ayub, and Yusuf and their struggle, they were always positive though. They were always looking for the future. The Prophet Ayub, they told his sons, that he had hope in Allah. And that we should never despair in Allah's mercy. And we should never lose hope. You see? So pain and suffering and struggling and the ups and downs of life, the tests, the trials, it's okay. Be hopeful. Be positive. Be on the side of your Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're going to be all right. But if you ain't on the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you ain't going to be all right. You see? And so again, in closing, we look at the example of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It makes you want to cry. Brothers, you turn around. It makes you want to cry. 23 years of his prophetic life. A little ease in between. A little ease in between. Remember when he got the revelation? All his life, it was good for him. He went through the ups and downs of life, but nothing severe, nothing major. And so he grew up in a society where everybody loved him, and Al-Amin, As-Sadiq, and they loved him, and, and they respected him. Yes. We went through. You see, but as soon as he get the revelation, he goes, Khadijah takes him to her cousin, Waraka bin Nawfal, and he explained to him what he experienced in the cave, and Waraka You know, he was an old man. He was blind. He was a Christian. He knew the book. He knew the scripture, you know. And he said, oh, man, you a prophet of God. You're a prophet of Allah. He said, oh, man, I wish I were young again so that I can aid you when your people will run you out. The Prophet ﷺ didn't understand that because he lived a life of ease somewhat. You see what I'm saying? In this society. You see? But very soon he learned. That's why Allah revealed all those stories in the Quran about the previous prophets to give him some strength. Hey, you ain't gonna go through. You're not going through anything different than they went through. They were persecuted. You see. So when you look at the 23 years of the prophet's life, you see nothing but hardship. I say, my goodness, 23 years. You see, he lose both of his parents. You know, well, let's you know that was enough. I mean, he dealt with that even before he got before prophethood was given to him. You see what I'm saying? He went through that as a young man, you know, a young man. He didn't have a mother or father. You know, they passed away, so he was an orphan. He was an orphan. You see. All right, but let's fast forward when he became a prophet. SubhanAllah, and the persecution and things he went through. SubhanAllah. Think about it. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I said, wow, the hardships and the difficulty that Allah put the prophet through. Allah loved the prophet. The prophet Muhammad was Allah's Khalil, just like Ibrahim. You see? So Allah, but he had to go through what he had to go through, you see? SubhanAllah, so when you look at all of the things he went through, the persecution he went through when he came out to preach, you know what I'm saying? And the opposition, you know, throwing dung on his back and all of that, giving him a hard time, persecuting his followers, you know, so the early Muslims, the assassination attempts, you know, that led to him making the hijrah. Think about that, you know, he was called to a meeting, you know what I'm saying, and the plot was, you know what I'm saying, the Jews were plotting as soon as he get there, and he was told to stand at a particular spot and wait, and they would come and they would, you know, work out whatever they were supposed to be working out, you see, and their plan was to drop a boulder on his head, man, to assassinate him, you see, but Allah sent Jibreel, so he was able to escape that. You see what I'm saying? But again, that's just one attempt, you see, you know, so the hardships, you know, SubhanAllah, the prophet loses 6 of his children. 6 of his children died before him. Do y'all know what that's like to lose a child? And I've lost 4. 3 sons and a stepson. Do y'all know what that's like? SubhanAllah, you know, just to lose one child, that's heavy on a person, man. And anybody would tell you that ain't easy. You see, but Allah, you know, the Prophet Muhammad, he lost 6. His only surviving child was Fatima. May Allah be pleased with her. She died 6 months later after he died. So he lived through that. You think that wasn't hard, and you think about what you're going through. Have you lost any children? Many of you just started. It's SubhanAllah. Okay? So something to reflect upon. Wow, how did the prophet deal with that? That's the example for us, though. He didn't lose it. He didn't lose hope because his eyes was on the prize. He was still focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's how we have to be. You see? So the changes and the difficulties and the trials, whether it's the loss of life, like the prophet experienced it, the stoning in Taif. Those in Taif, they stoned him. Blood was all in his shoes. But he endured it, man. It was hard. Later on, Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, what was the hardest moment in your mission? You know? Allah. He said, it was Taif. It was Taif, you see? But they stoned him, man. That's hard. And when we go out and give dawah, do we get stoned? Do our ulama get stoned? Maybe some of them be put in prison. But hey, you know, they got to endure it. They got to deal with it. See? That is the reality. But again, struggle. We look at the prophet like there's no comparison with nobody. You know? The boycott. Remember they put in the boycott in the early Meccan phase? 3 years. No food. They were eating leaves and leather skin from animals. Hey, you know, the people used to come complain to the prophet, had